Now let's take a look at the rally that ended yesterday in Naivasha, where Maxine Wahome beat Jeremy Wahome, his brother, and Kimathi to win the WRC3 in Naivasha.
Safari Rally Kenya played host to the 6th stop on the WRC3's global tour. Diego Dominguez was the early leader. The Paraguayan opened up a 1.5 minutes advantage on the first 3 stages, winning them all, but then he came unstuck in Kidong when he suffered a heavy front-end impact and retired. The junior regular and fellow Kenyan Kimathi was made to pay for his tardiness. He arrived late for morning service and then early for the second time control, picking up 3.5 minutes in penalties. He drove well, won 3 stages, but the damage had already been done. Local hopeful Maxine Wahome made her WRC3 debut on home soil. And after holding 5th following Thursday's super special stage in Nairobi, the 26-year-old steadily rose up the ranks on Friday morning and seized the lead by midday service. All of her rivals hitting trouble. Kimathi drove well, but he incurred penalties due to late check-ins. Following overnight reviews, he actually started on Saturday in first place, but his lead didn't last long as he hit a rock in the second stage of the day and tumbled down the leaderboard. For Jeremy Wahome, brother of Maxine, it was a case of what might have been. Issues yesterday bumped him way down the leaderboard, but he seemed to relish the tricky conditions created by very heavy rain, and that turned the fesh into a mud swamp. He won 5 out of 6 stages, moved into 3rd. Maxine Wahome's debut continued, and it went from strength to strength, despite grueling conditions in the afternoon. She topped an all-Ford Fiesta Rally 3 field by over 14 minutes, and that was still suffering computer issues. On Sunday, the order didn't change. After a brutal event which forced every driver into retirement at least once, Kimathi stayed 3rd. Jeremy bagged 4 stage wins and ensured that the top 2 places would be taken by the Wahomes. And Maxine created history by becoming the first Kenyan female to win a WRC Support Championship round, taking the WRC victory on home soil.
I've really pushed, I've tried to push so hard, learn the car as I go. So I'm happy I got to the finish, being first ever in the first time also in the same car.
Was that your philosophy at the start of the event, to be careful?
Yeah, it was to be careful, to learn the car, see how it goes, and each day improve till I got here.
So Maxine Wahome wins Safari Rally Kenya, and by an impressive 25.5 minutes over her brother Jeremy. Kimathi rounded out the all-Kenyan podium. And that victory moves Maxime into 8th in the championship. Jeremy is just behind in 9th. Kimathi's 3rd place moves him from 7th to 2nd place in the standings. Sami Piari still leading by 17 points.
Wonderful race for Maxine Wahome. She has fought so hard to be here. She's the winner of the Lioness Rally previously this year, and now she's taken part in this WRC Rally 3, and she has won again, and now she's headed to 2 before she triumph in the first rally, where she will be beating big names in this one. Now on Rally 2, where Kenyans also took part, that is Singh Rai and Akivirani, pulled out a brilliant and a wonderful race for them to finish 3rd and 4th respectively in this category.
Round 6 of the WRC2's global tour, and it sees the drivers battling through the wilderness of Kenya in an epic African adventure. Kaitan Kayatanovic topped the entry list on his Safari Rally Kenya debut. He's currently 5th in the championship, but with none of the other drivers above him competing here, should he score maximum points, he tops the standings, overtaking Johan Roussel. And he had the dream start, winning 4 stages and leading going into Saturday. Sean Johnston also makes his Safari debut with a Santalok prepared Citroen C3 and co-driver Alex Kirani, whose father hails from Kenya. He won the final stage of the day and ends Friday in 2nd. Martin Prokop fielded his Ford Fiesta Rally 2 after crashing heavily on this event last season. The Czech driver was in a tight battle with Johnston for second, but on the last stage of the day, his engine stalled and failed to restart, less than 5 kilometres from the end, and he picked up a 10-minute penalty. Saturday afternoon, the conditions changed. The heavens opened. Amanraj Singh Rai and co-driver Gurdeep Panazar had started the day in 6th, but coped with the tricky conditions better than most of their close competitors and finished the day in 3rd place. Johnston had been feeling unwell all day, so decided to take a tactical retirement before the last stage and received a 10-minute penalty. Because he had well over 10 minutes in hand, he still finished second and gave himself more time to recover and feel fresh for the final day. Kajatanovic thrived. The rally leader blitzed the tricky conditions, winning all of the 6 stages and increased his lead to just over 20 minutes. On Sunday, it was all about career bests. Kenyan Singh Rai held on to 3rd, his highest ever finish in a WRC event. 2nd place belonged to Johnston, a career best result for the American. He overcame that sickness as well as brake and engine problems in his Citroën C3. 3-time European champion Kajatanovic steered clear of major problems on rocky and muddy roads in the Great Rift Valley, around Lakes Naivasha and Elementaita, and scored that career best result to win in Kenya and topped off a perfect weekend, scoring maximum points in the rally closing Wolf Power Stage.
It's like dream. I don't want to wake up. We won probably the worst, but maybe not worst, but the hardest round in WRC. It's amazing. Thank you for my team, whole team, Lotus Rally team. Thanks to Maciek to race 7. All of them, they did really good work, and it works. Fantastic.
8 started, only 4 finished. The toughest rally of the season. On top, Kajatanovic, who wins by a whopping 19 minutes 8 seconds over Johnston. Singh Rai 3rd and Akif Virani 4th. So that maiden victory of the season and maximum points sees Kajatanovic move from 5th to 1st in the championship. Johan Russell is 3 points behind him in 2nd, Nikolai Greyer's in 3rd, which means reigning WRC champion Andres Mikkelsen is pushed down to 4th.
Kajatawiski is one of the greatest rally drivers, especially in Rally 2. He has been doing so brilliantly. That's why he matches the top there. But Singh Rai and Kenyans, also Akif Virani, who have dominated this one this time round in the Kenyan leg. This is the 6th leg, by the way. And now Robinson Okenye has been in Naivasha for the last 6 days. And now he sums us up on what exactly happened from the day 1 to yesterday when the ride ended.
After 4 days of some adrenaline pumping rally action here in Naivasha, 364 kilometers covered, 19 stages, and of course a total of 1,226 kilometers covered cumulatively. It was time to know the winner of this legendary event, and it was none other than the high-flying Finnish driver Kalle Rovanperä, who totaled 3 hours, 40 minutes and 24.9 seconds to win this year's edition, which is the 69th edition of the Safari Rally here in Naivasha. Now remember, he's also the series leader, and at the moment he's 65 points ahead of second place Thierry Nouveau, which of course we saw for Nouveau. He didn't have the best of outings in this Safari Rally, having finished 5th after suffering some 10-minute penalty. Now, aside from that, of course, Team Toyota came into this year's edition of the Safari Rally hoping to dominate, and they did so. Remember, the first 4 positions were taken by Toyota, the 3 podium positions taken by Rovanperä, who was the winner, followed by Elfyn Evans, who was the runners-up, and Takamoto Katsuta, who finished 3rd. Remember, this is the 2nd year that he's finishing on the podium position. Last year he was number 2, this year number 3. So let's listen in to what, rather how the experience was for Rovanperä. Remember, last year in the Safari, he did not manage to finish. He retired. But how the experience has been for him in this year's edition, where he emerged the winner. Remember, his father in 2002 finished second, but this time he came to right the wrongs that he did last year to win the Safari Rally.
Yeah, of course, the beginning of the season has been really good. And yeah, this weekend was quite special. This is quite a tough rally and also very well known. So it was quite special to get this result here, and of course for the team also to get top 4. It's quite special. Much tougher than last year. So it was a bit difficult to really know because we have done this event only once last year before. So, but yeah, already on the recce it was quite much tougher than last year. So we expected it to be quite difficult, but yeah, we managed it quite well. Yeah, it's quite clear. We can see our car is the strongest and fastest at the moment. Of course, in this kind of rally, you don't always need to be the fastest either, but yeah, at least we were strong. It's really amazing how all our cars didn't have any big issues in those conditions. When you drive, you just think yourself that something's have to broke because it's so tough in the car and so big hits all the time. But yeah, the guys have done a great job. I think that was the key this weekend for sure for this good result.
Alfin Evans from Wales, co-driven by Martin Scott, finished second in the rally, and of course he felt that probably could have pushed more to emerge the winner. Remember, he finished 52.8 seconds behind the winner, that is Carl Ronapera, who is also his teammate.
I think for me yesterday afternoon, just in the conditions with the visibility quite limited, let's say, it's difficult to read the conditions anyway, but when you can't really see out so well, that's quite difficult. So yeah, to be honest, that was the point I really went into survival mode to make sure we got through. But yeah, other than that, and it was also tough, you know, from the beginning. But I would say, yeah, the conditions yesterday. Yeah, I think up until that point, of course, you know, we had one eye on the lead, but also we didn't want to deviate away from our thoughts that you really had to look after the car when needed. So, you know, that had worked up until that point. I felt like we sort of got that balance pretty okay. But yeah, ultimately when, you know, there was already a 20-second or so gap and then there was other things going on, that's probably when I accepted then once Calais had a great time on the first one where it rained, then it was difficult to really do a lot after that. Yeah, I don't think it's fair to call everything bad luck, you know, I think you have to take some responsibility. But yeah, it's definitely not been a kind start to the year for us. But yeah, looking forward now to some different rallies actually. Estonia will be the first proper fast gravel rally we've done with these cars, and of course there's a lot of work to do now in testing to prepare. It's a rally I quite enjoy, but I think it's helped a lot when you feel good in the car. So that's the target now, is to get the car working well in those conditions, and hopefully hope for a good result in Estonia.
Takamoto Katsuta has become rather a fan favorite here at the Safari Rally, and remember he finished second last year. This year, of course, his fans probably thought that he was going to finish second or even finish first, but unfortunately that was not the case, as he had to settle for the third position on the podium, and he feels like, you know, he enjoyed the rally aside from, you know, the challenges that it posed to him.
Yeah, of course, that 2 years in a row on the podium is such a nice result. So I like this rally, but the two drivers mentioned that it was really tough weekend. So yeah, I enjoyed, but at the same time I feel quite tired now. So it's very mixed, but it was an enjoyable rally. Let's say for the car side, it's for sure toughest rally. And yeah, like Kalle and Elfin mentioned, that the team did a great job to develop the car after Sardinia and such a short time, but they you know, made such a strong car, so we didn't have any big issues. Of course, some small things, but this could happen for everybody, and it's almost nothing for this kind of rally. So Yeah, but let's say for driver side, of course, it's, let's say, first section is really tough terrain for drivers. So even for co-drivers, because they cannot see and they cannot, you know, them voice and everything. I can hear that getting, let's say, more. I don't know how do I say it in English, but it's quite bad at the end of the stage. So yeah, big challenge anyway.
Now, remember, we had 3 teams that are fighting for the manufacturers, top manufacturers sport right here. And Toyota definitely came out on top after having 4 of their drivers in the first 4 positions, and respectively, rather. And the other manufacturer that we had is Hyundai. Now, Hyundai, they had a very frustrating outing here on the Safari. Odd Tanak had to retire. Thierry Neuville, of course, getting punctures, being hit with a penalty. But at the end of the day, managed to finish 5th after winning that power stage on the final day. That he had a very fantastic final day of the Safari. We had a chance of also speaking to the youngster that is really coming up at Hyundai, that is Oliver Solberg, and he said that, you know, despite the challenges, he really enjoyed rallying at the Safari. Now remember, Oliver Solberg's father also took part in the Safari in 2002 and is a former WRC champion. Let's listen in to what Oliver Solberg had to say about the Safari and what the team principal had to say about the weekend.
First of all, it's been a crazy experience, a crazy adventure, and very happy to be at the finish. And I think with all the issues we had during the weekend, it's been very tough, and the mechanics did a great job to put the car together, and then me and Elliot managed to keep it together on the stages. So I think it all worked well together to bring the car home, but fortunately not the result we wanted. But I'm just very happy to be here, you know.
Yeah, frustrating, as you said, very difficult weekend. We are very disappointed by our performance over the weekend. We faced a lot of issues, and definitely this is not what we are coming for. This is motorsport. You have to accept that sometimes you are a bit down, but now we have to show as a team that we will react for the next rallies, and as well thinking of Kenya next year, because Kenya is as well a very specific rally where some of the issues I think we will face only here. So we have to be prepared. We have only a few days before the next rally in Estonia, so it will be very intense and tough next week at the factory. Now, yes, as you said, on the positive side, Thierry managed to finish the rally and to win the power stage. As well for Oliver, he had a lot of issues. He shows that really you have to push until the end and bring the car to the finish. It has been a bit more difficult for Ott. He showed some competitive pace, but unfortunately he had too many issues.
Now, Kenya's Maxine Wahome emerged the winner in the WRC category, and of course she's hoping that her win will inspire more women to get into the sport. We remember we had only one all-female crew, that is the Lionesses, in the rally, so she's hoping that her win will see her probably take more, rather be part of more WRC races, and also inspire some more, inspire more female drivers to join rallying.
It was a tough rally, extremely tough one, especially for me, the brand new car. But my goal was to learn the car, take every day step by step, and yeah, that's what got me here. Next is the Africa Rally Championship, the ARC. So that's what we're gonna do after this.
Now, of course, that is Maxine Wahome, one of the female drivers that we had here at Naivasha for the Safari Rally, which is one of the legs of the sixth leg, or rather of the WRC series. And she's hoping that her win will inspire the next generation of drivers, and also inspire rather more female drivers to get into rallying. Having completed that, the drivers in the top tier of the WRC will be heading to Estonia for the next leg of the WRC series, but of course Kenyans will be salivating for more action once the Safari Rally returns next year.